Welcome back to the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel. This is John once again, and wanted to make a video to you today about eBay and how they continue to cater to their buyers. And again, it's a recurring theme, but they can care less about their sellers, and it's really just demoralizing, if I have to be honest with you. So let's get talking about it. So without any further ado, let's go. I received a return today, and right away when I received the package, because I knew what was coming back, it was a dustbuster that I sold, and I knew that something just wasn't right because the way the box was, it was much smaller than the package that I shipped to them. And I didn't have time to mess with it. I put it down. We had to run some errands today, and I got back this evening and opened this thing, and I received this dustbuster. It was a dustbuster, but it wasn't the one I sent them. It was old. It looked like it came from a smoker's home, had that yellow film all over it, and no charger, of course, because what they do is they buy yours. It works well, and they swap it out for the one that doesn't work or is just nasty to them, and we're supposed to just be happy with it as sellers. And I know where it comes from. You have this Amazon mentality, and I tell you why it's Amazon mentality. If you've ever bought an Amazon liquidation pallet, you'll notice about 5 to maybe 10% of the pallet itself has the original retail box, but it's not that item in that box. And you know, it almost seems like your Amazon customers are being allowed to return these kind of items to get a full refund, because if you've ever done an Amazon return, as soon as that tracking number gets scanned by UPS to be sent back to Amazon, that refund is already sent back to your original form of payment. And so it's this kind of mentality that allows customers to think they can get away with it, and then they come over to eBay and they try to do the same thing as well. So I'm putting this particular buyer on blast, and when I process the refund, now remember, we have to process the refund, and if you use that refund tool, I'm a top-rated seller that offers a free returns on some of my items. I also require the buyer to pay for a return in certain situations, usually larger sized items, right? This particular buyer opened a return as not authentic on this item. And as soon as I saw the request, that I received the request, I sent them a message, and I stated, this is an original Black & Decker dustbuster. Please tell me why you think this item is not authentic. Now, of course, this buyer has zero feedback. So either they didn't see the message, or certainly they're playing a scam. They're not going to reply to that message. So after about 2 days, I was required to send the label. So I bought my label, uploaded it, and a couple days later, here it is at my house. And so this particular buyer, and I'll give you a little screenshot here, GR7_7105, they have zero feedback. So chances are they will never buy from eBay again. And so I would still recommend to put them on your block buyers list or block bidders list, because if they do decide to buy again, they won't be buying it from you, and you don't want this kind of a buyer. So as soon as I got the return, and I went in and took photos of the return, and I processed the return with the photos less 50% with the refund tool. Went in and reported the buyer. You always want to do the refund and then report the buyer when you're doing it online. That way it doesn't open a case and then take away your ability to perform the return, and of course take the 50% if you need to. So I uploaded all that information, and I went in and reported the buyer, but that's not enough for me because it just doesn't sit well. So I usually try to call eBay and report the buyer that way, and to discuss with someone, and hopefully I get someone who's willing to work with me, because this is a defect against my return. So it counts as just another return, and it ups your return rate. you get that return rate up too high and you're paying an extra 5% on your final value fees. You don't want that. And so I would have had this video uploaded by now, but as I was about to record this video a little while ago, received a call from eBay. And you know, it's funny, when I did the callback request, you go onto ebay.com/seller help, and you find the particular problem that you're dealing with, and you scroll to the bottom of the screen and you select contact us, and then it'll give you the option email, and you were looking for where it says to callback time. In this case, it was like 40 minutes. So I had to actually navigate as if I was a buyer looking for my item. It gave me the option to get a callback. Every option I selected as a seller, whether it was due to a return, due to a managed payment issue, I was looking for everything that I could find as a seller to get someone from eBay to call me back, and it said unavailable every time. So I decided, well, either they're unavailable or they're not. It's within their hours. They're still 2 hours away from being closed. They close at 10 o'clock Pacific time. Lo and behold, I went in as if I was a buyer looking for my package that hasn't arrived, and it gave me an option to get a call back within 40 minutes. So I selected it, and before making this video or starting this video, I got a phone call. And so, you know, nothing really transpired about it. You know, they talked to me about it. They put notes into the account. I think that's a good idea, because when I submit my return with 50%, I don't know if you guys know this, but that money is not automatically refunded back to you as it should be. And that was one of the points of contention that I had when I talked to somebody at eBay tonight. Is if you are giving us top-rated sellers the opportunity to use this refund tool and adjust anywhere from 0 to 50% of the value of the item as a deduction from the customer's refund, then why do we have to wait for the customer to approve that deduction? Of course the customer's not going to agree with it, because they feel they get to keep the item and they can get a full refund too. Why should they only get half of their money back? You know, scam artists don't just give up that easily. Of course they're going to reply back, because I believe eBay sends them a message and the customer actually doesn't have to talk to anyone. They just simply reply back and they state that they don't agree with the refund amount. And so eBay investigates, and they can decide for the buyer or they can decide for the seller. And it's been my experience that there's a lot of lazy reps at eBay, I'll tell you right now, and they don't look at the information, the notes that you provide, the pictures that you provide. I actually had a situation a couple months ago where it was a Friday afternoon. I submitted a dispute against a defect on my account, and I provided about 3 paragraphs of information stating why that defect is false. I provided 3 photographs, and wouldn't you know that 15 minutes after sending that to eBay, they denied my dispute, which told me they didn't read any of it and they didn't look at the pictures. Maybe they had a quota. I don't know how they handle their business over there at eBay, but it certainly wasn't handled by anyone who cared about my situation. So that prompted me to request a call back. I got someone who actually looked at it and found it in my favor after another hour on the phone. And if, you know, I'm a full-time seller. If I'm like a lot of you folks out there, you go to an 8-hour-a-day job, you come home and spend a couple hours on eBay, you don't have an hour and a half, 2 hours to spend on the phone with eBay. You try to do this online and you get a reply back stating that your dispute was denied. A lot of you are going to say, well, you know what, it's not worth my time. And that's going to be held against you later on when your returns are too high. And so that's why I stay on top of it. But it's so frustrating the way eBay has this thing set up that we are treated like, third-class citizens, like we have some type of record. You know, we're on probation. And if you just look at our accounts, many of us have perfect accounts, great feedback, top-rated sellers. What does that mean? if I'm a top-rated seller and you're treating me like a third-strike felon, how is that supposed to make me feel? Especially at the end of the month when I'm paying you my fees. So yeah, I'm fired up right now. And you know what? I'm getting more and more of you. Thank you for subscribing, watching my videos, and I can only hope that we get more people that are going to stand up, and even through just posting a remark. Post your remarks down below. I love reading your remarks. Many times I agree, sometimes I don't. But, I always give you a thumbs up. Please give a thumbs up on this video. Give me a like if you've made it this far in the video. But I always like to read what you have to say. Sometimes it's from a different perspective than maybe I have. I learn a lot from your comments. But even if you're upset enough to post your situation and as a seller, why you're frustrated, at some point eBay is going to see these remarks. And they need to see this feedback in order to reverse a lot of these bad policies that they've made against sellers. And, as a seller that's been dealing with this way too long, they're just enabling their buyers to treat us the way they've been treating us with these returns, not paying for their items, just a number of things. And buyers continually get rewarded for bad behavior. How do they get rewarded? They get dedicated phone reps. Us sellers, we have an issue we want to deal with because maybe I can't deal with it tomorrow while I'm at work. Sorry, you have to send an email or try again later. That's not good customer service. And as far as I'm concerned, the sellers are the backbone of eBay's business. They lose the sellers, I don't care how many buyers they have, because eBay doesn't sell on their own platform, they are going to lose business. Many of you have already told me through your comments that you're not going to be selling on this platform anymore. And that's sad. But if they want to reverse that trend, they need to start paying attention to their sellers. But we continually, with the managed payment program that is being implemented this month for many of you, and as for managed payment sellers like myself who've been doing managed payments since last year, the program's changing for us too. It was just the final value fee, and we weren't being charged that extra 2-point-something% as an introductory kind of thing. Now we're paying that. But also, you know that if you have a store that's above the starter level, your final value fees are sort of being lumped together with your transaction fee. The combination of your final value fees and your transaction fees is 11.5%. If you do not have a store, or you just have a starter store, it's 12.35%. And how they determine that 11.5 or 12.35%, it's based on the final value of the item you're selling. They add shipping and they add tax. Yes, they add tax. So they come up with a final number, and your final value fee, that 11.5% or the 12.35%, is based off of the total of those three figures: the total sale, the shipping, and the tax. So we're paying a final value fee on tax, and we're not even getting that money. We're not even holding that money. That's being held and sent to the States by eBay. So it's just, and I didn't even realize that up until tonight when I did some more research on this. And so again, they're making more money off of the sellers by providing zero value for that money that we're paying them. It is so aggravating, to simply ask for little things like, hey, if I offer a best offer to somebody and they agree to it, we negotiate back and forth. I offer them a deal for $10, they come back at 8, and I say, let's do 9, and they agree on it. They can wait 2 or 3 days to pay for it, when the person that's willing to pay the full amount has to pay right away. That doesn't make sense, and that doesn't seem like it is too difficult to program, yet here we are as sellers, we're still waiting for that, but yet eBay has no problem putting their hand out, telling us here's this great new fee structure, and by the way, it shouldn't affect most of you, but it'll affect some of you to where you're paying more. Well, I have a problem with that, eBay. And I hope you're watching. I hope your representatives are watching. Hope your corporate executives are watching, because honestly, enough is enough. And I sell on this platform. I continue to sell on this platform. And you guys are pushing me closer to the edge where, you know what? I'm not going to be able to sell on this platform anymore. And I think I speak for many of you out there who are also in my situation. I don't have a full-time job to jump back to and say, you know what, I'm going to give up this eBay gig. This is my full-time job. And so it's a lot harder for me to walk away. But I tell you what, you know, it's not going to take many more changes for me to finally figure something else out. That's my rant. And I know a lot of you feel the same way too. And enough is enough. You know, eBay continually caters to their buyers, and we want happy customers. I get it. But you continually cater to the buyer, and you're not doing anything for the seller. If you're doing a little bit for the buyer and a little bit for the seller, trying to make everyone happy, I wouldn't really care so much about increases in fees. It's part of life. I don't remember any time in my life where fees haven't gone up for something, you know. But you're providing zero value for the additional fees that you're asking us to pay, and that's a problem. So eBay, you have to do better. You need to do better. Stop treating the core business, your sellers, like we're third strike felons, because we're a little bit better than that, a lot of bit better than that. Based on your comments that you've been providing, there's a lot of great sellers on this platform, and it's about time, eBay, that you start taking care of your sellers. So what do you guys think? Submit your comments below. I want to see what you have to say. Please consider smashing that like button, and please subscribe to my channel. We're over 800 subscribers, and you know, it's amazing that that many of you folks actually care what I have to say. And hopefully, the time you're taking to watch this video, you're actually maybe learning something, or you're experiencing something and learning from that experience that you don't have to make the same mistake and experience. So thank you for watching this long video. Sorry it was so long, but it's I think this rant was very important, and with the managed payments that's being implemented right now, I think it accurately reflects the pulse of many buyers out there. So again, thank you. I'll probably put a video out Sunday or Monday, and you know, until then, have a great weekend, and make as many sales as you can. Have a good night.